bring it in and we'll take a look at it and see, and we'll also consider what Marcy said, the other way of doing it with the contractors. Just an idea.
We considered
That's
that
what we're
when
doing,
we
we're kicking it
passed
around.
the law originally, we considered that.
Yeah,
But how
so,
much can you keep a bond, that's the thing?
Well, it's not a bond. It was,
What is it?
well, we'll discuss different ways of doing it. I know that one of the ways we talked about doing it was to have, you can have in perpetuity a certain coverage of different elements of a project. The green space maintenance, or period lighting maintenance, or what, there are different ways to approach it.
yeah, but
Because certainly it has enhanced the character of the community
it looks,
in the
they
area.
look wonderful, they do.
Yeah.
What cost, how do
I
we
appreciate-
finance it?
No, I certainly appreciate what you're saying. We need to look at new creative ways to fund it.
And Mike was so concerned about this, he almost volunteered to come here.
Because
He was
Michael
almost.
hates taking care of it. He does.
So that was it on the thing, on the $3,000. If we don't want to do it, or what do we want to do, or what do we want to...
Can you, I'm sorry, but I was focused on something else.
No, we got a bill from the town for
Yeah.
this year's joint recreation, senior. And it was like, all right, normally we pay this much, and it was
Right.
$3,000 less. And I said, what's $3,000 less? So I told Joyce, she said, we paid them $3,000 too much last year. I said, why? Because they billed us $3,000 more, we paid them. And they just held the $3,000 for a year, and at the end of the year said, you paid us $3,000 too much, we're gonna keep it towards
Very
this year.
odd.
Yeah, I thought so. We're gonna keep it towards, they didn't, not to say that they kept any money of ours, except for a year, not to say that they didn't tell us, hey, it's $3,000 over, but they waited till the end of the year to tell us it's $3,000 over, and then they billed us less, and it's subtracted from this year's.
They may not have known that right away either, till they reconcile their books.
So the question is, should we audit their books because of that?
Yep.
I mean, the way it seems to me,
Or should we request, or another option, I forget, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, is that, maybe it's our turn to take over the senior. We did joint rec, then they did joint rec, now we have joint rec again. Senior has always been there, so, it's a joint venture, so maybe it's our turn to take care of the senior bill so this stuff doesn't happen.
it seems to me it was a bookkeeping mistake that was self-corrected. The problem is less on their end with bookkeeping, but both our ends with communication. I think that doing an audit would further hamper communication and further damage relations. I don't think that taxpayers want to see us spending our money on an audit of their books that are most likely sound. I wouldn't be in favor of that at all.
Ken,
I appreciate the fact that we want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, but unless there's some kind of smoking gun, I wouldn't want to spend any of our limited funds on this. People don't want to see us, let's try to get along instead of making it worse. I mean, I don't know.
is there a way for us to ask, number one, for an explanation? There should be an explanation of what went on. And number two, I think asking them if there should be an exchange, the way we exchange everything else, that there be a consideration that we take over doing it, if not this year, whenever, that there be a going back and forth, since it is half of our project. Seems like a totally reasonable request, John.
Yeah, if anything, then yeah, we just...
That seems
Switching
like
it
a
every couple years
reasonable
like we do with
request to me.
JRC.
I don't think that should be contentious.
Sure. And then,
They would like that less to do.
yeah, and then maybe, maybe
Well,
both,
refer to us to do the books.
maybe both sides, whether it's JRC or it's the senior center, it's one common budgeting thing we have together. Maybe we just need to get some more quarterly reports or something so we can see where the money's going. And same for JRC.
Yeah, so it doesn't...
Because the time will come, they're gonna take over JRC again, so maybe we've gotta get that process in place for the future. And this way both sides can see, hey, every quarter, rather than wait until at the end of a whole year, that, hey, this is where our joint collected monies are going.
I don't think that it's an unreasonable request to say that we'd like our shot at taking care of the senior center as
Was there a
well.
time
It
that
should
we
go
did,
back and
or-
forth.
I don't think so, I'd have to check, but I don't
Okay.
think so.
Then JRC, it used to be every couple of years, but then a lot of years went by where they were
Yeah.
taking care of it. Finally, they said to us, hey, you're gonna take
Take it
this
over, yeah.
year. They said, no problem, you guys have had it for a while.
Well, that's because it was less formal. I think we're trying to formalize
Yeah.
so that they're more
And
clear.
with that, maybe both sides will give each
Yeah.
other whichever piece they're taking
Maybe
care of,
we-
some more,
Maybe
rather than
we
wait
should
till
set
the
up
end of the year.
a formal timetable.
That sounds like an intelligent
On
approach.
both joint rec and senior,
When we have one, they have the other.
or something like that, and switch every 3
Yeah.
years, every 5 years or whatever. Yeah.
And come up with a timetable for, instead of waiting for the year. I think
Yeah.
that's right. You know, have a quarterly report,
Or biannually.
or biannual,
Something
whatever
more
it is,
annual.
so that we don't wait a year to find out that there's a difficulty. But I still would like an explanation of what happened,
Phone call could probably do that.
perhaps.
So,
The amount of guns here.
but I think spending 3,000, over 3,000, because, just making up numbers, what it might cost us, but I can't see it on it would cost us any less than that, over 3,000. I think there's more, just a different proactive looking forward step we could take.
Okay. Anybody else have any other business? Kyle?
Yeah, I do. The contract with the Heritage that we got a while back, they came to us for the contract. Yeah, I have copies for everyone. They gave it to us, and I think the consensus of the board is our one objection was maintain the infrastructure. So they changed the contract where the village would not be responsible for maintaining the infrastructure. Yeah, so we would not have to maintain the infrastructure. No, it's everything that we proposed to them. They came back, the one change they made was us maintaining the infrastructure. We said no, so this is the changed version as a result of that. It's been 2 years. I would like to move on this. I don't foresee houses being built in the next few months, but we know we need the users, let's get moving. I would like to see this on the agenda for our next public meeting. It's nothing that we haven't talked about a dozen times before. Obviously, everyone's going to need to read this. I'm not asking them to read right now, but maybe this week everyone can read it over. If there's not any problems with this, I would like to vote on it from tonight at our public meeting. So, it's all things we've talked about. Nothing's new, nothing's anticipated in here. Obviously, me saying it is different than everyone reading it,
Yeah.
but we're okay. I'd like to see it on the agenda for.
Oh, we'll definitely put it on the agenda.
Well, yeah, the one thing we gotta talk to David about this is, I think right now they're talking about doing it for one of these transport companies. I had talked to David about this a while ago, and I know he was on top of the 9,000 other things we lop on, trying to get some answers on this eventually, is whether it's a sewer district or a transport corporation, the town has to approve one or the other, and he's
Right.
getting conflicting messages on which the town is going to do or wants to do. So one, gotta get some clarification on that, and then the other issue is, what happens if let's say we do it with the transportation company, and David was gonna get answers for us on a lot of this stuff.
Correct.
What happens if the transportation company falls? Who is on the hook for what then?
Sure. Well, this is actually, instead of being with one or the other, because it's unclear what the town's gonna do, but instead of us waiting for them, I'd like for us to be proactive. This is just with the Heritage, with their company.
Right.
And then, once they are approved one way or another, then we can decide what the contract is, and we can pass another resolution, to give further clarification at that point.
Right, but if the town says, let's say we sign this, and if the town says no to the transport corporation, the agreement is null and void, doesn't mean anything.
Correct.
They said
I'm not
school
positive.
district.
I'm not
That I
positive
think
on that.
David had gotten me some answers on.
Okay.
I don't want to speak for him, he's not here, to
Right.
let him better give us his legal opinion on that.
Okay.
I think when I had my discussions with him were, if that were to happen, we'd be contracting with nobody. So it wouldn't be another party to the
Which then we
contract.
could map it out another agreement with whatever
Yeah.
that
Right.
amorphous body would be, at that time it would have a
Yeah.
shape and a name.
So I think David was trying to, and hopefully he'll be able to get, is really more some clarification from the town, which way they're leaning in terms of are they gonna create another sewer district, or are they gonna allow the transport corporation, then we would at least know who we can contract with, or should contract with. Otherwise, all the other terms that I'm cool with, and sure, they took out the infrastructure stuff. My concern is with the transport corporation, though, is if it falls, and this is the stuff David will get us the answer on, is could that kind of backdoor us into being responsible for the infrastructure?
Absolutely. I think we need clarification on that question.
Village's problem at that point.
Right.
And then does that, in essence, backdoor us into what we didn't want in the contract to begin with?
Sure.
That's the only concern.
I'll also discuss this with David tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Because I think that the feelings on this are very clear. And I think that putting it on the agenda makes it come to fruition one way or the other.
Sure.
Everyone gets to vote.
Yeah.
Okay? But I would urge us to get the answers clearly from David before we get it on the agenda. If that can all be done by Monday, great. If not, I think you're giving a nod conceptually, and we need factual. Because I think this is step number one. And there are then, several others that are waiting at the door.
Sure.
And I'm not looking to hold anything up. I'm simply saying I would want to have the facts that we need before we come to that conclusion. So I hope they can be gotten for you in that time frame.
Sure, because actually the other question, maybe if you get to ask David tomorrow, Mr. Mayor, or I can call him this week and ask him, would be, if we did it this way with the transport corporation, could the town become a third party to this contract,
Absolutely.
guaranteeing it in essence?
That was also,
Because another concern is, let's say we do it with the transport corporation and someone doesn't pay their bill. We can't, right now, if you don't pay your bill in the village, we can levy your taxes, manage
Yeah.
taxes.
but we can't in the town.
We can't in the town, so maybe we can get the town to be a guarantor of the contract.
On all of it.
Then we have someone to go after to get money from if people don't pay their bill.
Okay.
Okay. But that's a legal question for Dan to
Yeah.
answer to.
We'll be talking about this tomorrow, David.
Oh, good.
You have nothing else? Ed, you have anything?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Awesome.
Nothing major other than two little things. Number one, we're up to only -13 in the reservoir, which is terrific. Yeah. Number two,
13 inches,
correct.
not feet.
Not feet, inches, exactly. And that the tree crew will be on site this week and hopefully part of next week. We've had our illuminations, Mike and I have had our meetings again. And people who had signed up, their trees are being evaluated to see whether they need to come down. And those that are in a precarious situation are being attended to.
Okay. I just have one thing. Thursday morning, we're having a
Okay.
holiday party. So,
Wish I could.
come over,
What time?
May?
What time?
9 to noon, right? 9 to 11:30.
I know it sounds crazy, but my lunch is at 10:15 in the morning. And these guys start earlier than I do. So it sounds great to me. I wish I could be here.
Whoever can make it, more than welcome.
You school Thursday?
Not on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
It's on Wednesday, I thought.
No,
Thursday, you're good.
Thursday.
Wait, I can come.
All right.
Marvelous. Okay. I thought it was on Wednesday.
It's not the right, but we just put out some,
Nah, I like being here whenever.
yeah, it's just kind of a holiday spirit type of thing.
Don't sing to us.
And,
Is that directed at me? Is that directed at me?
I don't know.
Sounds just like Ethel Merman.
So I think that was.
All right.
I think so.
Move to adjourn.
All right. Thank you.
Aye. Oh, yeah, aye.
This is,
Hey! Happy holidays! I thought you wanted to show your shirt.
this is,
There you
I
go.
don't know what, Nicholas.
Video piracy.